Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directive. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel. Your likes, your shares, your comments. You help me grow my channel, which helps me to reach out and meet more people and help them. So thank you very much for that. If you are a subscriber, be sure to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos, at least most of the time. Apparently not always. So I do upload videos generally on Monday, so you can be looking for that. And I will let you know, keep an eye out. I'm thinking about going back to doing some Thursday videos, but I'm not sure. So this week, because there's so much going on, we have the full moon in Taurus. So things that you started about a year and a half ago, you're going to start to notice the end of a cycle on that, an opportunity to begin a new cycle. That's that full moon in Taurus for you. It really shines a light on what you decided to do during your birthday time about a year and a half ago, 2018. We also have the full moon is going to be in conjunction with Uranus in Taurus, your sign also. And so I know how you like things really kind of steady and planned out, and Uranus is in your sign for 7 years, so well, 6 more now, and it kind of shakes things up. Well, when the full moon is in conjunction there, it's going to kind of shine a light on like what some of the chaos is. Some information may come to light that not enough information, but some information, and so it's going to perhaps create a little more chaos, especially with Mercury being in retrograde right now in opposition to all this activity. It could be kind of a stressful week of information coming into you, and what do you do with it and how do you handle it? So just be aware that that is a possibility for this week. We have the 11/11 portal happening on Monday, and this is a real gateway, an opportunity to continue your soul growth, to advance to the next level. You can choose to go through it or not. The opportunity is there. It feels like you aren't necessarily. It feels like a leap of faith, which is kind of hard when you are on a path to make that change, but Scorpio season is all about the deep dive, the going deep, the getting down into it to decide, to learn, to grow, to choose. And the full moon allows you to release what's not working. And if you can release what's not working, then it's a lot easier to pass through the portal into the next level of ascension. Okay, that's a lot of stuff, I know. Because of that, all this energy, I'm not using the tarot cards for the overall energy. I'm actually using a different deck called the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Oh my gosh, look what your overall energy for the week is. You have the Map Maker of Destiny. Authentic purpose and inspiration and free will. So interesting, because I channeled for you before I got started here, and what I saw Taurus driving a car. And the sun was just at that spot on the horizon in the morning, where, the visor doesn't really keep it from coming into the car. And even if you have sunglasses on, sometimes you have to squint through it. So that would be like that information coming in that makes it hard to see, to decide. Because I felt like you were trying to find the right road to turn onto, but you were a little blinded by all the light coming in. So what are you missing? Your ability to see clearly where it was you needed to go was being hindered. So just be aware that that was what I saw. And when I see the Map Maker of Destiny, authentic purpose and inspiration and free will, I feel like you need more information to decide where it is you're going. But don't forget that you are a co-creator with Spirit. You get to decide. You get to pick. And when the Map Maker of Destiny comes up, Spirit is saying, dude, do that. It's up to you. And maybe you can't see everything, and maybe you don't have all the information, but pick a path and we'll help you out. But they can't pick the path for you. So that's kind of what that feels like. All right, so let's get into this. We have that full moon. We start out the week with the moon in Taurus, and the full moon comes pretty quickly. But with the moon in Taurus, it's about that level of achievement that you have created, and it's what were you doing a year ago? October 23rd, of 2018, the full moon in Taurus was in conjunction with Uranus at that time, and so some cycle, some thing that you either started or were completing, or some idea, plan, whatever that was going on. With Mercury in retrograde, now is a really good time to review it, to make any revisions you need, or recommit to what you were trying to accomplish. There's an opportunity to shine a little bit more of a light on it and see what it is, because it feels like there's some chaos around it. And the moon in this particular aspect is also like seems silly to say this to a Taurus, but watch out for overspending. We are coming up on the holiday season, so. Because we have that Four of Pentacles kind of energy that surrounds the moon at this particular place. So you're ruled by Venus, and Venus is, she rules the finances, and she rules the senses, and relationships, and beauty, and so a possibility of overspending does seem like a thing that could be happening there. So, all right. You have the Seer. You have the Seer. So when I see the map maker of destiny and I see the Seer here, it really says to me, it's time to do that deep diving, to follow your intuition, to go in a little depth and figure out where it is that you want to go next. And don't forget to ask Spirit for guidance along the way. They can't help you unless you ask. So the Seer represents the capacity to reach beyond the obvious details of life into the hidden realms, where information is available to those with the discernment to perceive it. This symbol represents psychic perception, intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure. The Seer knows truth, always seeks truth beyond all else, and sees reality as it truly is without judgment. The Seer can read between the lines and understand what it is not being said. He represents the power of clarity and being able to recognize patterns. Don't be so blinded by the light. Use your intuition. I feel like you're getting almost an information overload. And so being able to pick through that to figure out what is actually important becomes really a thing. So we have the full moon that's happening on Tuesday morning at 8:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States. The moon is protective of possessions at this particular point. It is the beaver moon. It is the frost moon. It is the pulling within. It is pulling our energy in and protecting ourselves. Kind of like the beaver, they build their dam, but there's the little housing unit that they build. In order to get access to it, they have to go deep into the waters, the emotional waters, right? And to get up into the warm snug of the place where they stay safe. I want to call it a snug, so that's what I'm going with. I'm sure that's not correct. But it feels like you feel safe and protected there in the warmth. And so holding on tight to your stuff to try to keep that, to stay above the emotional waters. But if you don't dive deep, you can't get there. Yeah. Okay. So, more guidance on that full moon. Allow yourself to be creative like the beaver and build something that's stable. When a beaver dam has something that's not working in it, I have seen beavers tear down and move a dam so quickly. So taking out what doesn't work so they can make it sturdier. Sometimes you can shore it up. Sometimes it has to be worked from the back to the front again, started over. So you have balanced spirituality and practicality. And I know this says full moon in Pisces, but that feels very much like what we're hearing here. The practicality of Taurus and the intuition of Pisces, the Seer. And finding that balance as you decide which way you're going forward is you create and map out your destiny using your intuition and what you know. So reality and intuition, life experience and intuition, you know, the heart and the head in balance as you map out and decide where to go. On Wednesday morning at 3:46 a.m., the moon is going to move into Gemini, and this is a really great time for that self-reflection and understanding that what you project out into the world is often reflected back to you. So if you project an aloof attitude, then people will respond in an aloof manner. If you project warmth and generosity, people respond with warmth and generosity. What you like about people are things that you like about yourself. What you don't like about people are things you don't like about yourself. And so being able to view yourself without judgment and view the situation without judgment and just assessing it through your intuition and your, you know, your wisdom that's gained through life experience will help you this week. Because you're reflecting on what brings the pleasure and the joy into your life. And your reputation plays a role in this week. So be careful of boasting because of Mercury being in retrograde. It may not be as well received. You might be standing up for yourself and just saying, well, this is what I have to offer. But be careful of how you word it. I'm not saying don't defend or present. Be aware that right now with Mercury in retrograde, it's very easy for things to be misinterpreted. And so being cautious in your choice of words, written and oral, really important. What brings you the pleasure? That self-reflecting on that as you're deciding which way to go forward feels really actually like the key thing this week. The balancing of the head and the heart. Okay. Your reputation's at stake for some reason. And it says you have the solar plexus chakra. It is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. So yes, feeling self-confident, being willing to stand up for yourself, your reputation, yes. Again, though, I caution the wording, not the intent, not the action of, the presentation of how you do it. Feels really important. Then you have the law of attraction. Relationships and activities that once enjoyed are now changing, and you're becoming more sensitive and aware of energies. You attract in, right? You self-reflect out into the world what you're going to receive back. The higher your vibrational energy that you are emitting, the higher the vibrational energy you will be receiving. I just feel like Spirit was doubling down on that for you. That moon's going to move into Cancer at 11:15 a.m. on Friday morning, Eastern Daylight Time. That's that nurturing Cancer energy of loving yourself and caring for yourself. It shows up in your third house of communication, and so I really want to encourage you to speak kindly to yourself, to say nurturing things. Don't be harshly judgmental of yourself. Love yourself the way you wish that your parents had. Because people whose parents were able to speak kindly to them and love them and nurture them don't have this issue, and that's why I put it that way. If you had those loving, nurturing parents, I'm so happy for you. Most of us didn't. And sometimes it's not the parents. It could be a job, an authority figure, something of an authority figure that made you feel less than, maybe a group at school. There's something that you need to pull it in and nurture and love and care for yourself. Taurus is here to understand what the real value of life is. What is really self-esteem? What is really self-worth? Yes, you can manifest anything in the financial and the material. You really can. Better than most, easier than most. You see it easier. You're so grounded. You see the path forward on that. But what is often missing is the understanding of the self-value, self-worth, self-esteem of that connection with spirit. And because the Hierophant represents Taurus, being able to connect in with your spirituality as you're creating and manifesting, and there's no, I really hate that, I'm going to preach a little. I really hate that religion has told people forever that you only have one life. And so you need to buy your way into heaven. And so you need to give up everything you have and serve the church with all your time and your resources. And I mean, no, you are already promised that because you are a piece of the divine source. You don't have to earn your way into heaven. The original sin was them telling us that we were flawed. Just saying. So, finding that balance of spirituality and understanding that you can be connected to the divine and you can have a fully spiritual life and you don't have to give away everything that you've ever created to a church or an organization. Yes, there is a give and take. And yes, you can manifest so that you can promote and help others, holding it tightly to yourself. That for Pentacles energy, that stone energy of I'm not letting go, this is all mine and I'm not sharing, that is not good. But you are allowed to be successful. You are encouraged to be successful. You're here to teach other people how to do that. So find the beauty and the balance in this. The balance of the divine and the material. When you can live in that center space, then you're in alignment. And there's beauty in there. And if you've been taking some hard hits, there's a need to allow yourself to release during this full moon what's not working and be resilient and allow yourself to have this new growth, this new opportunities. Allow them to come in and recommit to yourself of loving yourself and manifesting for yourself and choosing your path. It's your path. It's your path. You get to choose. Forward movement. See the butterflies of transformation? Such an opportunity to allow yourself to transform a situation, a relationship. Scorpio sun is in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. And listen to your body. Okay, so the first thing I thought is if you need rest, you should sleep, take naps. But then I looked at her and I thought, gosh, I think she totally gets the whole thing. You know what your habits are and whether or not they're healthy. You can take action on them and you can change something. You can commit to yourself also to bring your life into balance. All right, so these last cards here. They're messages they're postcards from Spirit. From Colette Byron Reed. Spirit is tickling my face like crazy during your reading. Holy cow. Oh, really? I don't want to read this many. Can we not do that? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't have time for that. The most important message for Taurus. What is the most important message for Taurus? It's this one. Okay. Message from Spirit to you. The little love letter. It says, Dearest you, we need you to know that you can change things miraculously for you and everyone and make things right. It is never too late. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the burden of an old story, one in which you were a victim of someone else's actions or your own. You don't need to worry about, don't need to carry this around. That full moon in Taurus is a great thing to release. You can set yourself free. Even advocating for the good because of this experience requires your forgiveness to be effective. Forgiveness is never about condoning things that were done. It is about letting yourself off the hook from carrying the burden. Resentment and hurt are like viruses that spread to others, and that is the opposite of what you really, really deserve, right? Imagine what your life would be like without this burden that you carry when you do not forgive. You can do it. Everyone over here believes in you and adores you. You're the map maker of your own destiny. And if you are carrying around anger and resentment, if you're carrying around the burden of unforgiveness of self, because we don't always do everything right, and Taurus definitely likes to think of themselves as not messing up. I find Taurus in general has a very hard time admitting that they screwed something up. Because you think of yourself as you are a very stable, very careful thinker. You plan, you head off in a direction. It's really hard to say, oh, wait, I didn't get that right. You're that fixed energy. It is hard. But when you can do that, when you can look yourself in the mirror and go, ooh, I didn't quite get that one right. And then you're willing to say, but I'm human. Of course I didn't get it right. What did I learn? When you forgive yourself because you're here to learn something and this was the lesson, whatever this is that's big enough to be the full moon and Taurus issue for you, it's huge. This is a core thing, and it's happening during Scorpio in Mercury retrograde. That is some deep energy going on. We're coming up on this next eclipse cycle. Whatever this is it's holding you back from going through that 11-11 portal of pushing forward. I feel like the 11-11 portals are kind of blind corner, and that it's going to be the energy that happens with the eclipse season that's really going to get you through. It's kind of like making a turn down the tunnel. That's what it looks like to me. I see like the doorway, and I see like you take a few steps forward, and then you come up against the wall, and you have to turn and go that way. Like there's a turn. But I don't think you can make the turn if you can't forgive yourself. So go ahead and do that. What other people think about you is none of your business. Can you forgive yourself? And when you can forgive yourself, it's so easy to let go of anger and resentment toward anybody who didn't nurture you the way you needed to be nurtured, who didn't love you the way you deserve to be loved, who was dealing with their own crap and burdens that they brought, they have to deal with. That's their job. It's not yours. Your job is to love yourself, nurture yourself, and remember that you are a divine spark of God, that you co-create, that you are the map maker of your own destiny. What do you want? It starts with forgiveness and self-love. And then, the sky's the limit. The universe is the limit. Beyond the universe is the limit. I don't even know what's beyond the universe. You can do this. You can. I believe in you. I want you to believe in yourself. All right? All right, Taurus, we'll talk soon. You take care.